Hi there, Boostly World. My name's Emma Cole. I'm head of product marketing at Touchday Digital Guidebooks. And today I'm going to take you through a whirlwind guidebook glow up. So hopefully give you lots of tips and tricks to wow guests and keep them coming back. So I've been told by Mark, I've got to keep things speedy. I've got to crack on. So I'm going to just jump straight in. Lovely. So here we are. Let's crack on. Nice to be here with you all today. So what are we going to cover? What are we going to run into? So if you're a bit tired, you've had enough, and you know all about guidebooks, and you're thinking, Emma, babe, I'm not that interested. That's fine. Scan the QR code on your screen here, and you can sit back, relax, and look at a lovely Touch Day guide that is a guide to the city of Barcelona, and which is where I live. And you can sit back and have a little holiday daydream and plan your next trip. So don't worry about it. Just have a chill. For the rest of you who are really keen and want to get a bit more stuck in, this is what we're going to cover. So we're going to run through some hacks that help you get up and running really fast, and some great ways that you can use Touchday's guidebook templates. A lot of the hidden features we have that you might not know about that will make your life easier, save you a bunch of time, and of course, make things way more interesting and way more engaging for your guests. Most importantly, how to make sure guests read your info. No one reads anything. We're all guilty of this, but there's got to be ways that we can make sure that guests are reading all of the wonderful information that you've put together so that they have a great time, but also so that they stop asking you so many questions. And then finally, I'll run through some of the great features that we have that kind of take things to the next level. And really, I mean, that's what we all want to do. So let's crack on. No more screen sharing, no more boring slides. I'm going to jump in and just demo this for you and show you how it all works in my Touchday account. Awesome. Boom, here we go. So here I am, I've logged into my Touchday account, and I'm on my templates page. So something that a lot of you maybe don't know is that you can now have a bunch of different templates in your Touchday account. So what does that mean? We have 15 or so templates. That's your short-term rental guide for your properties, event guides, destination guides, cleaning guides, super useful for your cleaning crews. There's lots of different templates available, and you can also create your own now from scratch, which is super nice. Why is this useful? How can this help you? So one of the ways this is useful, you can completely duplicate everything that you've already created. This is one way. So let's say I've got some new properties and I want to completely duplicate that template and those guides, copy everything over. It's super easy to do that. You just use our duplicate template feature. You click duplicate template, you give it a new name, and then you're off to the races. So instead of having to create everything all over again, you can just duplicate it. It's disconnected from your original templates. Any changes you make won't change on your existing guides, and you can have it all nice and separate. Another thing that you can do is you can just add, as I said, add a brand new template. So why would you do that? Let me give you an example. So here you can see I have my house guides, and that's 2 properties that are in Spain. So I've got 2 guides on that template. I want to add another house guides template, this time because I have some properties that I've taken on into my portfolio, and they're based in the UK. So I want all of that content to be separate. They don't need to share any information, different types of houses in different countries. So we want everything separate. How do we do that? So I click add template. From my nice list of templates, I'm going to choose the short-term rental one, which is for the house guides. I call it house guides because that's just easy for me. That's how my brain works. And then house guides UK, because they're in the UK. Awesome. I click save. My templates are being created in the background. Lovely. Lovely. And do I want to go to my new template? Yes, please, sir. So over we go. Here is my new template, and you can see everything. This is all fresh, all brand new, but it's all still in that one Touchday. Like, it's still the same login, it's still my same overall account, but everything's been separated into a new template. You use the drop down here, you can navigate between all your different templates. So now I'm in House Guides UK. You can see all the content that's already created here, ready for me to adjust and make it relevant to my property. So I've got the welcome, things to do before you leave home, check-in, arrival information, the Wi-Fi, like all the stuff that guests need. Really basic, sturdy foundation to build your guidebook from. So that's your templates. So it's a really nice way to, depend if you've got 3 properties, 500 properties, and maybe they're in different places, or maybe you've got 50 units all in one building. Like, depending what you've got and how things are set up, you can use the system very flexibly to make it work for you. So I highly recommend checking out the new templates. And they're even great for managing your cleaning crew. If you want a destination guide for people to use it as a marketing tool to encourage people to come to your local area, loads of stuff you can do. What's next? So I'm going to go back into my Spain template, because that's where my guides are, and they've got all the nice fun content, and I'm in Content Hub. So one thing I want to show you quite quickly, which may sound super basic, but a lot of people don't know this. So I'm going to pop into my welcome topic, which is what people first see. So let me what am I talking about? So here is the guest view of your guide. I've got this just open. I always have this open on another screen, but another little hack here. So if you're in Content Hub, right, and you click Preview Guides, it gives you the guides that you can view. So I click Paso Codel. Here we are. It's just loading up. Oh, there are bugs in the internet today. There we go. And this opens on the desktop view, and that's really nice. But when you're working along, maybe you want to think about, what is my guest seeing? How do I see this from the guest point of view? So if you just right click and click Inspect, and here I've just got it open on another screen, and here it is already. This is what your guest sees. So this is a really nice little hack to size this up to a mobile view. You can choose different views, different device views as well, to see what your guests see and interact with it in that way. So if I click on, let's go to the start, shall we? Oh, we're not playing ball today. That's fine. Always gremlins in the internet, isn't there? There we go. Lovely. So here we are. Here's all that. So all of these lines of the content, all of these different categories here, this is what it's looking like for the guest. It looks like just like their lovely app. So here's the nice welcome. I was about to show you all the lovely stuff here. So back into my Content Hub. And let's just, here we go. So as I was saying, the welcome topic, the welcome category. So I'm going to pop in here. And a lot of people just forget that Touch Day is super multimedia. You can have videos, images, links to other sections of the guide, external links, so links to your website, links to your Boostly website, and links to any other things that you think your customers, your guests will be interested in. It's super multimedia, and you can really bring it to life. So here I've got some nice emojis. I've got links that I can click that take the guest to other sections of the guide. There's a nice little photo in here. Hi. And you can add videos as well. So you can change the media, add different things, and make it super interactive. So don't forget that you've got all this rich text editing and other multimedia that you can play around with and add. It's just don't give your guests a wall of text. And videos, give them images, make it really engaging and interesting. Don't make it boring. There's no room for boring here. What else is good? So if we go back into the guest view of the guide here, you'll see at the bottom there's the map tab. So this is Barcelona. Here we go. And I got a lot of map pins here. So all of these little pins on the map are a Google place that I've added into the guide. Because I want people to find all the hidden gems. You don't want tourist traps. You don't want just the random stuff or the sponsored stuff that's pulled upon Google these days. You actually want to offer quality local recommendation to your guests. So awesome. How do we do that? Super easy. So first of all, your guests can filter through these too. Super nice. So if you're just worried about which coffee shops to go to, I drink a lot of coffee. I talk very fast. You might be able to tell. They're all in here. So it's super nice way of being able to help your guests navigate, see what they're looking for. But how do you add these into your guide? So a lot of people are manually adding just little topics and just text with recommendations. You don't need to do that. We have an integration with Google Places. So let's see, let's add a nice restaurant, shall we? So what I've done here, here's a bunch of restaurants that we love to go to. Click Add Topic, you click Add Google Place. I'm actually going to add a nice brunch place because we all love brunch. Oh, can't spell. There it is. So you type in the name, it brings up the lovely Google Place, and then all I have to do is choose the tag that I want to apply to it. This is in Barcelona, so I'll click Barcelona. I'll come to tags in a minute. I choose the map pin, so eating and drinking. This is it's like a little restaurant. Click Save, and then that will now be populated on my map, which is great. So easy for guests to find. And whenever they click on a pin, they've got information that I've added in. They've got driving directions, really easy for them to get around and really feel like they've got a little concierge in their pocket. Awesome. Now, I just mentioned tags. So let me tell you what those are briefly. So as I've said before, you can whether you've got two properties or 500 or however many, it's really easy to manage all of that content in TouchStay. So how do we do that? We do that with tags, and you just saw me click on that little tag. So what are tags? So when you create a new template and you go into your master content, which is Content Hub, every guide that you then add into that template is given the All Guides tag. And that means all of the content in here, these are the tags here, if the All Guides tag is applied, it does what it says on the tin and it's applied to all of your guides. And that means the content that has that tag applied to it, this is our little weather widget, goes onto all of your guides. If you have information that's only relevant for each guide, you can then create a new tag. I have one for Barcelona house. I have one for the Casa Jane house, which isn't in Barcelona, but it's still in Spain. And that's how I tag things to make sure content goes to the right place. So if you have, say for your welcome category or your welcome topic, it's the same information for all of your properties. You just add the All Guides tag and it goes to everything. So no writing things tons of times. It's super simple. Very, very easy to manage all your content. So that's kind of the building blocks of TouchStay and some really hopeful, nice time-saving tags in there. What else is really cool and interesting that you might not know about? So I'm going to run into a few that are really cool for your guests. So if I go back into my guide and I'm back on my home screen here, you'll see this little globe and you think, what is this globe? What does this mean? We've got translations, language translations built into your guide. Let me show you how we do that. So if we go into settings, we go into your preferences, and here we have languages. So if you just want, oh, let's turn that off. If you just want everything in English, because you've only got English guests and that's the default, you can just disable that. If you know you've got guests who are speaking lots of different languages coming from all over the world, we've got two options. We've got Google Translate. And what does this look like for the guest? I'll just refresh that. When the guest clicks on the globe on the cover page of your guide, all the different languages they can translate the guide into, all pulled directly from Google Translate, and it's instant. You don't have to do anything, which is fab. And then we also have the multi-language option, and we support around 17, maybe 20 now, different languages. And this means that every time you create a topic or add some content into your guide, all you have to do, let me show you actually, much easier. You just add in your own native translations. So what does that look like? So here I have the English. If I wanted to add French, I could copy everything, translate it over. German, Spanish, any language that you want to add that we support, you can add that in. And we will automatically, dynamically show the correct language to your guest based on the location of their IP address. So super nice, very personalized feeling for your guest. And this is all just included in your TouchStay guide. So give it a go, try out the different language options. What else? What else have we got? So back into the guest view, we have some really nice interactive dynamic features that guests really love. Because as I said, no one reads anymore. So how do we make sure that people read? You want to make your guides interesting. So people coming back, they want to share it with the other guests and they want to keep using it as a reference tool. As I said, that concierge in their pocket. So let's see, what nice things do we have to show? So one that's super great, and we might already have scrolled past. Here I have embedded a podcast episode. So this is about, it's a podcast I listen to about Catalan culture and history, what's going on in the region. And it's a great way for giving some local flavor or something interesting to your guests. You can add playlists, so any music that you're into, maybe showing off a local band. It's just a super nice way. We support Spotify, Apple Music, and a few other music options. So it's just a really nice way of embedding something quite fun and interactive into your guide. Everyone loves the playlist. What else do we have? Oh, so if I stay in the welcome, you may have seen the local weather widget. So we have, we call it the weather widget. We have the weather widget and we have the tide times widget. So here this adapts to the location that your guest is in. And this will show them the weather or the little weather forecast. So just like you'd have on your phone normally, but specific to the location that they're in. And the tide times does the same. It tells the tide times, the tide of the times, the time of the tides for the locality where you are. So if you've got a beachside property and people go surfing, it's a great way of helping them make sure they catch all of the waves. Another really useful one that is very book direct relevant. Let's scroll down. So in my guide here under So Long Farewell, we have an email. It's called a special topic. It's an email capture topic. So we have it here. We call it the stay in touch topic. You can change this to whatever you want. But what it does is it captures the information of your guests. So as we all know, don't really get those email addresses of guests anymore. And we want those email addresses so we can stay in touch, offer something interesting to them post-stay, have a deeper connection with those guests and keep them coming back, and not through the OTAs, but by your direct booking site. So this is really cool. You'll put in the name. So Emma, let's just put in my name at TouchStay. And then the guest clicks submit. Nice. And this can be used, you can add them to your newsletter, your emailing list, so you can stay in touch with your newsletter, and you can collect all of these responses in your TouchStay account and then download them as an Excel file. It's a super nice way of holding on to those guest email addresses. And it's not just the primary guest. If you have a big property and you have, I don't know, a party of 10, and everyone shares the guide around, it's a great way of getting those email addresses and remarketing to those guests as time passes. Super. What else have I got to show you? Hope marks like Emma keep to time. So I think what we'll go to next is how to make sure guests are reading your guide, most important. So all of these features are really nice, right? They're lovely. But how do you make sure guests are actually reading them? Yes, your guide looks gorgeous. You've added your photos, your videos. You've got all this amazing information. You've got the Wi-Fi password. You've got the check-in. You've got all the key information that you need. People are loving your playlist, but how do you get them to read this? This is where Memo comes in. And Memo is TouchStay's messaging assistant. What does it do? Put very simply, Memo allows you to send emails and text messages to your guests. So hopefully, even if you don't have their email, because as I said, we don't get those emails, but if you've got their phone number, you're able to build a communication flow within TouchStay that sends the link of your guidebook to your guests. And not only does it send the link, it's so much more that it can do as well. So we have a whole series of templates that you can use to send, post-booking, all the different steps, you know, once the booking has been made, right up to the weeks before, and anything in between when you want to be sharing and breadcrumbing and slowly dripping information to your guests, build up anticipation. If you go to our website, TouchStay has a really nice guest comms planner. If you want to think about, well, how should I be sending emails, blah, 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 it's all in there. So don't take my word for it. Go to our website and have a look. And you can send text messages too. So you're probably thinking, well, how does this all work with the guide? So if you think back to that email capture topic I just showed you, guests might not find this in your guide. If it's right at the bottom, or, you know, they don't really think of, you know, they haven't got to it, that's fine. You can use Memo to send a reminder to them. So what you could do is create your own custom message here, fill in all this information, choose who you want to send it to and when. You can schedule it. And then you can drop them in a little message. Hi, we've loved having you stay. Do send us your email address so we can stay in touch. And you can add the link to this section of your guide, so they'll go straight to it. They'll pop in their name, last name, and email, and that's it. It's just this fabulous way of using our messaging solution and that email capture topic together. And you can use Memo with every feature that I've talked about. So send them that playlist, send them a text or an email with that playlist. Hey, here's some music to get you excited about your trip. It's a really fantastic way of building anticipation and really keeping people engaged. And I'll show you some nice examples of things that our customers have done. So pop back into here. Lovely. So I'm going to breeze through all of this jazz. Boom. So Memo, just as I was talking about. So the thing that's great about Memo, yes, you can automate your messaging, set up that messaging flow, use the templates, use the phone numbers or email addresses, and get that out to your guests. If you want to learn more about using Memo, scan the QR code here and it will tell you another webinar. I think it's me talking, tell you all about how to use Memo and how it can really help with building that guest engagement and developing a deeper connection with them, because that's what we all want. And I will keep coming back to text messages. Text messages are kind of your superpower when it comes to hosting. And people are like, what? It's so old school, text messages. People are busy, their phones are full of notifications, WhatsApp, emails, all this stuff. With the humble text message, there's no spam filter and there's no need for Wi-Fi access. Text message just comes through to your phone. You don't get that many, generally speaking, because people are using other apps for their day-to-day messaging. And we see through our guest communication study, go to our website to download that one too, that text messages get a much higher engagement and a higher rate of clicks than emails. Because yes, they're not getting lost, they're not going into spam. You do have that phone number of the guest because you're not limited by the OTAs holding onto those emails, and you can really manage much more precise and timely communication. Some of the research we found during our guest communication study is that guests really like to receive text messages just before they arrive because it's there right on the home screen of their phone. They don't have to go through a bunch of apps to find it. It's right there and very easy. And it can really help with building confidence and helping guests feel like, boom, I'm ready to go. I know how to check in. Oh, I've even got a nice playlist. Let's go. So don't sleep on the humble text message. It is your friend. And then what else? What I should wrap up with? Well, we have some, as I showed you earlier with the playlist, we call these custom elements. So what other custom elements do we have? We've got walking tours that you can embed into your guide. We can create upsells through embedding a drop form. So if you want to offer, as we have an example here, a nice charcuterie board, or if you want to offer massages, a personal chef, anything, a product or a service that you want to upsell, you can drop that template into your guide. The payment gateways are all managed through drop form, and it's a really nice, very friendly way to upsell to guests and increase your revenue. We have the playlist, as I spoke about earlier, and another nice one is Google Forms. So another way of capturing guest data, pop a Google form. We have Microsoft Forms and other types of forms as well. It's a great way for understanding guest preferences, getting information about their car if they're parking a car, guest rental agreements. There's lots you can do here to capture that information you need from guests, but have it all within the guide. So guests aren't like, oh, where do I need to go? And you haven't got like 15 different places that you're trying to gather and collate information from. Some more examples. Another one with drop form, you can offer speedy check-in and early check-in. It's another great data capture form that can really help removing friction from the check-in process. Very nice. You can drop in calendars. So if you want to add Calendly or a Google Calendar, you can drop those in as well. One that's really neat that our customers love is a Matterport 3D tour. So talk about building anticipation with your guests. They can visit your property virtually without ever having to step foot before their trip. So this is a really nice way of really showing off your property. Forget videos and images, like here's your 3D right there in person, but virtually tour. And they've got Apple Music too. We've got a bunch of them, so check them out. And how do we bring this all together? So as I said, with Memo, you can send a text message to your guest. Hey, I know you're looking forward to your trip. Here's a link to your guide. It's got the playlist. Build a bit of anticipation, get excited, and it's just fun. And that's what these holidays that your guests are going on should be about. It should be fun, but this is also, it's fun for the guest, but you're making sure guests are engaging, they're reading your guide, and you are getting them to ask fewer questions. And then a final one that's super, super great that I will leave you with is, oh, we've already talked about the upsells. This is a great way of explaining more about how to manage upsells with your guide. So scan the QR code there for more about that. And the last is our data dashboard. You want to know how your guests feel about your guide. You want to know how guests are interacting with it. You want to know how many people are clicking and when they're clicking. Here we have the beautiful data dashboard for you. You can see at guide level and a few other different ways as well, over time, when they're clicking, what they're clicking on, and how they feel. So that guest sentiment, how they feel about your guide. Scan the QR code here to learn more about Data Dashboard. It's been an absolute game changer. Once you've had your guides live for 6 months or even a couple of weeks, come into Data Dashboard, see how your guests are interacting with your guides, and use that to inform all the different choices you're then going to, well, I need to add a new category here, or guests aren't finding the check-in info. Great, I'll send them a memo text message with that in. It's how we bring it all together. So Data Dashboard it's brand new, and it's been super useful, so you can really understand how guests are engaging with you. And if you understand how they're engaging with you, you can know what to offer to them and make sure they have a great time. And if they have a great time, they're going to come back. So that's your rapid fire tour of Touch Day and a lot of the fantastic things that we have that can really help you glow up your guides, glow up your guest experience, and really make sure that guests are having a magical time, thinking of you when they're planning their next trip, and ultimately coming back to book with you directly. Thank you so much, and back over to Mark and the crew.